Welcome to Greater Good Radio Hawaii, where leaders inspire leaders. Greater Good Radio Hawaii is dedicated to social entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Evan Leong, and with me is my co-host, Carrie Leong.
Thank you, Evan. Today's guest is Gary Slovin, Managing Partner of Goodsill, Anderson, Quinn Stifel, LLP. Gary also serves as President of the Honolulu Zoo Society and Director of Helping Hands Hawaii. Please welcome to Greater Good Radio, Gary Slovin. Welcome to our show, Gary.
Thank you very much.
You're an attorney with Goodsill and Anderson, correct?
That's correct.
And how long have you been an attorney?
Well, let's see. Do I have to tell you how long I've been an attorney? It stretches my memory, but actually I graduated from law school in 1966, and I started practicing in Philadelphia with a small firm in the fall of 1966, and then I came to Hawaii in 1970. So I've been practicing a long time, almost 40 years.
What brought you to Hawaii?
I had been living in the East Coast, most of my life, and was just kind of, in a way, never really liked living in the Northeast, and just had a chance to come to Hawaii, and just kind of took it somewhat on a lark, and thought we'd be here for a year. At that time, my wife was offered a job teaching here. In those days, Hawaii was recruiting teachers from the mainland, which I think maybe they're doing again, but back in that time they were doing that, and I had been very involved in the anti-war movement and the civil rights movement as a lawyer, and was a little bit burnt out, and so saw it as an opportunity to take a break, see the beach. I had actually, when in the 5th grade, I had done a topic on Hawaii, and that was before statehood, because that would have been 1951. And I still remember the name of the teacher. I don't remember very much anymore, but I still remember that for some reason. So maybe there was a sense of destiny or fate in my
I can't imagine you had too much of a break, especially now when you're the managing partner of one of the, is it the oldest law firm in town?
The oldest and largest within the state. That's right. Yeah, I don't get too many breaks anymore, but that was a nice break at that time.
How is it doing law in the Northeast compared to Hawaii?
It's very different, Carrie, actually. The Northeast is kind of this old conservative approach to things. I was involved in a very liberal movement at the time, in the practice that I had. But in Hawaii, the practice is a lot more what I would say collegial. I mean, I think, and that applies to a lot of things in Hawaii because of the fact that, if you work with somebody during the day, you may very well see them. You probably will see them at a PTA meeting, at soccer, baseball, the grocery store, a lot of different things. And in the Northeast, that's less likely to happen. And I think because of it being an island community, people just, you sort of have to treat people better, because if you don't, it kind of catches up to you more. In the Northeast, I think maybe there's more of a sense that you can get away with it. Maybe it's also the cold weather that people aren't as nice to each other. But, I mean, people are much nicer to each other in Hawaii still. I think some people think it's changed, but still, compared to the Northeast, it's just as... Well,
what has kept you here in Hawaii all these years?
When I got off the plane and came here, I just felt that, hey, this is a place, I mean, really within a day, I felt, this really is a place that is more akin to the way I want to live. I've always been involved in sports. I really like being outdoors all the time. The Northeast is just kind of harsh. People don't get together as well. I mean, you hold a party in Hawaii, guess what? If you invite 100 people, probably 110 come, yeah. In the Northeast, you invite 100 people, maybe 10 come. I mean, it's a very different thing, and to me, it just was much more along the lines of the way I liked living.
How was the transition for you? Because being that you had mentioned that doing business was so different, how was the transition for you? How did you, I guess, the lifestyle is easy to become accustomed to, but, doing business, how you deal with people, like you said, now you're not just going to see them in the office. You might see them at your children's schools as well.
Yeah, actually, for me, it really worked out better for me because I was never all that, to be honest, I was never all that comfortable in a way working in the Northeast because my approach to the law has really always been more of trying to work things out with people. I mean, that's kind of been the focus of the practice that I've had over the years, and even in terms of being managing partner, that's more my natural style of doing things, which didn't fit as well on the East Coast as it did in Hawaii. So for me, the transition was always pretty easy.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.